Now, those of you who regularly follow this channel know I don't do Frank Zappa. Well, I've decided to change all that and find 9 tracks from Frank that will alter all that for me. But the question is, where do I start? Only one place, and for me, and that's to ask ChatGPT for some suggestions. Now, the first choice he suggested was Peaches and Regalia from 1969. I have to be honest, this isn't a completely unknown track to me, as I've heard it many times before. I just didn't realise that it was actually done by Frank Zappa. Now, it's a standout instrumental from the Hot Rats album, and it demonstrated really a flair for blending jazz fusion with melodic progressive rock sensibilities. It was constructed through layered overdubbing, and it's one of his earliest major studio experiments, using this 16-track recording system and involved writing melodic lines, really one line at a time, in the studio with contributions from Ian Underwood as well. Now, the original session musicians included Shugi Otis on bass and Ron Selico on drums, with Zappa and Underwood filling out the rest of the arrangements. The recording included studio tricks like a sped-up octave bass, and that gave the guitar-like punch to the bass, giving it a quirky, unique texture. It became 7 tracks of bass guitar recorded at half-speed, tremolo pick style. Over time, Peaches on Regalia became a jazz fusion standard and was a favoured opening all encore in Zappa's live shows during its time. Now, the second suggestion was Cosmic Debris from 1974. This is a humorous, funky blues rock track from the album Apostrophe that skewers gurus with mysticism and featured the sarcastic lyric, "Look here, brother, who you jiving with that cosmic debris?" Now, the track also highlights zippy guitar solos from Frank, a smoky sax from Napoleon Murphy Brock, what a name, and some groovy keyboards by George Duke. Now, the album became one of his most commercially successful records, and leveraging a rock-orientated sound full of orchestral touches. And this was a blend really of orchestration and rock textures that fans and critics really found very compelling indeed. Personnel across this album included really quite a large ensemble of people, but Zappa was there on the vocals and playing multiple instruments, plus contributions from Ian Underwood, Ruth Underwood on percussion and vibes, George Duke, Jean Ponty on violin, and really many others.
Now who you jiving with that cosmic debris?
Don't Eat the Yellow Snow from 1974 is next. This track is part of a 4-song suite that kicks off the album, including, with that, Nanik Rubs It, St. Alphonso's Pancake Breakfast, and Father Oblivion. The suite weaves loosely connected narratives centered around dreamlike Arctic humor, and featured the marimba by percussionist Ruth Underwood on St. Alphonso's Pancake Breakfast, which added a distinctive percussive flavour. See what I did there? Musically, it fused progressive rock with blues rock elements, with memorable grooves, and Zappa's storytelling cheekily painting odd scenarios. Fans often noted that the suite's shifting textures from jazz groove to rock to upbeat comedic fury made it one of Zappa's more theatrical inventive moments. Now, the ensemble and production mirror those of Cosmic Debris, given that it's really on that same album.
Don't you eat that yellow snow, watch out where the huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow.
Next up we have Montana from 1973, though, is a bizarre comedic song where the narrative fantasizes about moving to Montana to grow dental floss of all things, which was described as a totally different kind of crop, and is another example of Zappa's absurdist humour. And musically, it combined a catchy rock groove with some intricate arrangements, including backing vocals, unexpected chord changes, and really some dynamic shifts in there. His album, The Over-Nite Sensation, marks Zappa's increased embrace of funk rock, humour and pop sensibilities, while still containing that sophisticated musicality. And notably, the album helped broaden his audience, and it became really a fan favourite for combining earworm melodies with his trademark quirky narratives.
I might be moving to Montana soon, just to raise me.
Dancing Fool from 1979 is the next selection, and is a funky disco parody track from the Shaky Beauty album, in which Zappa lampoons the dance crazes from the era, and featured an irresistible groove and self-mocking lyrics about being a terrible dancer. I'm with you there, brother. Now, it became a hit single exemplifying Zappa's ability to parody contemporary music whilst composing really ear-catching and danceable tunes. The album Shaky Beauty is really one of Zappa's most successful studio works, partly due to its topical satire and its biting humour. Now, the backing band on the album included musicians like Terry Bozzio on drums, Patrick O'Hearn on the bass, Adrian Belew on guitar, and Tommy Mars playing keyboards. Now, this track resonated well with a larger audience thanks to its funky rhythm, its engaging arrangement, and the way really it both mimicked and mocked disco tropes. Now, the sixth track that ChatGPT selected was Zombie Woof from 1973. Now, this was a hard-rocking track with Zappa's idiosyncratic riffing and bizarre lyrics about really a werewolf known as Zombie Woof who leapt out of the dark bedroom at people. Now, it stood out for its wacky time signature, crunchy guitar tone, and tight, energetic performances. Originating from the Over-Nite Sensation album, this period really did mark a transition towards more accessible, tight, band-based arrangements, with some female backing vocals and stronger melodic hooks for Zappa included. Now, the album's lineup blended this virtuoso musicianship with funk and satirical storytelling. Zombie Woof remained a fan favourite, often praised for its raw rock intensity and Zappa's sardonic wit.
With a zombie wolf behind your eye, just about as evil as you.
The next track, Brown Shoes Don't Make It, from 1967, is a Mothers of Invention classic. It's got a multi-sectional satirical piece targeting the political hypocrisy and domestic turmoil, running nearly 8 minutes long. He showed off his early theatrical compositional style that combined rock orchestral touches and abrupt tempo changes and spoken word interlude. Quite a mixture there. Now, the album it came from, Absolutely Free, is deeply rooted in 1960s avant-garde rock, political commentary, and experimental postmodern satire. Personnel on the album included his mother's lineup of the era, featuring Ray Collins, Roy Estrada, Jimmy Carl Black, and Don Preston, amongst others, and it stood as a cornerstone, really, of Zappa's early work. It's bold, sharp, and structurally adventurous.
Brown shoes, don't make it. Brown shoes, don't make it.
Inca Roads from 1975 is a sprawling prog fusion epic with punchy horn and guitar arrangements. There's some odd meters in there and really surreal lyrics, referencing Inca Roads and other mystic imagery. Now, featuring more towering solos, quirky vocal lines, and layered rhythms, it epitomised Zappa's advanced compositional scale. One Size Fits All is often considered one of his finest albums, combining that jazz fusion complexity with theatrical drama and whimsical narratives. This lineup included the 1973-75 legendary band George Duke on keys, Napoleon Murphy Brooke on vocals and sax, Ruth Underwoods on percussion, Tom Fowler on bass, Chester Thompson on drums, and Bruce Fowler on trombone. Inca Roads was really widely celebrated by fans and critics as a progressive masterpiece, with humour and virtuosity strongly aligned. Now, I'm ending this particular video this time with Watermelon in East Hay from Joe's Garage, Act 2 from 1979. This is really deeply emotional lyrical guitar solo, an instrumental closer to the rock opera concept, Joe's Garage, subtitled "Playing a guitar with the band is like trying to grow a watermelon in Easter hay." And goodness for that. Thematically, it's the protagonist's final musical farewell amid a dystopian ban on music, an expression of profound loss and yearning. Solo is the only one specifically recorded for this album, with the rest being overdubs and featured two chords harmonic simplicity, explored via beautiful melodic inventiveness, and really a 9/4 time signature. Featuring Zappa on lead guitar, plus Warren Cucciarolo on rhythm guitar, Denny Wally on slide, keyboards by Peter Wolf and Tommy Mars, Arthur Barrow on bass, Ed Mann on percussion, and Vinnie Colaiuta on drums. Now, after Zappa's passing, the piece became one of his signature works, and it was considered amongst his most gorgeous and emotionally resonant compositions. So, I've now finally taken the plunge and had selected for me 9 tracks that ChatGPT think I would enjoy, and also to help me to begin to experience this vast and varied collection by the great man himself. Now, this was nowhere near as painful an experience as I perhaps expected, and it's left me wanting a bit more. Now, this is where you can help me out somewhat. Let me know in the comments some more choices that someone new to this musician, like I am, might appreciate, having experienced the far more basic tracks thus far. I do look forward to reading your selections, and hopefully we'll make more videos in this series, which I'm going to call Getting to Know Frank. I've created a playlist already, and that's got this video in it so far. Now, the video on screen features another pioneer of music, and is a look at the classic album Lark's Tongues in Aspic from King Crimson. Watch that one next, and I'll see you over there.